Russ, how's it going?
All right, Dan, what's happening?
Make one mistake. Click on one women's underwear advertisement in Facebook, and that's all I get now. You know what I mean? So I'm like a pervert or something.
Well, yeah, we take that as a given, but
Yeah, well, so Russ, you've been really busy now. I've been trying to get in touch with you. I think I called the missing persons
yep,
line, and God, whatever. I know that you pulled out a new tobacco, a Bengal slices. It's a lighter one. Can you talk to me about that? I'm
yeah,
curious.
yeah. It's called Bengal Slices Red. Like the other entries in the lineup, it's a crumble cake. This one's lighter in Latakia, and it has an aromatic top note, but it's definitely not as intense as the original Bengal slices. Um, and really, it was to serve two purposes. For the people who missed some of the Frogmortons from McClellan's, this is somewhat similar to the Frogmorton blends, and also anybody who remembers the old house blended, slightly aromatic American blends, but with some Latakia. Ones like Barking Dog, and some of the other ones that originally came from U.S. Tobacco or Philip Morris. They were light Latakia blends and slightly aromatic, and so that's what this blend is too. So if you like old aromatic English, or if you like the Frogmorton blends, you probably enjoy this one.
Okay, because your other ones, because I have the Bengal slices, the black one,
Yep.
and if I'm not mistaken, because because I know one of your smokes I really enjoyed. It was very campfirey. Is that the Bengal slice?
Bengal slices is more aroma wise, it's more incense like.
Oh, so that's why you're saying English.
Yeah, well, and really Bengal slices is a Balkan if you want to
Right. Okay. Yeah.
use those terminologies. But yeah, Bengal slices, the original one, is my recreation of the blend from the 70s and 80s. And that definitely has that incense like aroma. And then we came out with the Bengal Slices White, which doesn't have any aromatic top note.
I don't have that one. Can you describe a flavor profile on that?
Yeah, it's in the same ballpark as like White Knight or the old Balkan Sobrani.
Ah, so it's still a meaty tobacco.
Yeah, but meaty back then was like 30% Latakia. That was considered a lot of Latakia back in the day. Today, most people are starting out at 40-50% Latakia, which to me is crazy. I think once you get beyond 40%, all you taste is Latakia, and it can get kind of muddy tasting.
It's funny. Okay, so you mentioned Latakia, and because I'm hyperactive, I got all these thoughts in my head. I want to get back to Balkan stuff.
Yeah,
But I want to ask you something, Russ. How many tobaccos have you put out on the market?
over 100.
Okay, so why are you not the Davidoff of pipe tobacco, for crying out loud?
There are a few reasons for it. Number one is that we have to farm out the manufacturing, which means that the manufacturer has to make their profit. And then we have to make a profit at retail. And so that bumps up the price.
Of course.
If I were in a position where I could actually manufacture the products, we could bring the prices down, and then we could probably gain a lot of market share and become bigger.
So,
Um,
because
you know, and
Davidoff, go ahead, Russ. Sorry.
that's okay. If I couldn't figure out a way of doing something like that, well, yeah, I think we would definitely take a bigger chunk of the market.
Well, literally, you gotta buy the tobacco farm.
No, nobody owns their farms today.
Seriously.
Yeah, there's not a single manufacturer that grows their own tobacco. They all buy either direct from farmers or they buy through brokers. But they
what
don't
about a
they
what
don't
about a big
grow
house? Well, sorry. Go ahead.
they don't grow any tobacco.
But what about a big house like Arturo Fuente?
Well, now you're talking cigars.
Ah, okay, okay.
Cigars
Not-
are totally different.
Are they really?
Cigars are more vertically integrated, meaning that they grow the tobacco there, they age the tobacco there, they ferment the tobacco there, they roll the cigars there. Everything is in one location, and everything, even with some of the manufacturers, they even make their own boxes.
So you were talking about having everything in house. So Arturo Fuente has everything in house. He does everything himself. His cost must be wickedly low in comparison, and he still sells his cigars $100 each.
Okay, well, let's be fair. Um, you can't blame Arturo Fuente for that because he's been dead for quite a while. You can blame his kid if you want to. Carlito, but that's the point is the reason that they charge what they charge. For a long time they were kind of a mid-range cigar.
I remember when.
Yeah. And their Bravas and the 858s and everything are still in that mid-range. But then along came Don Carlos, Hemingway, and
Pedro.
Opus X. And those there was a lot more R&D that went into those. Plus on the Don Carlos and the Hemingway, they have to buy the wrapper because
Okay.
they don't Cameroon grows in Cameroon,
Right.
and so if they're going to use Cameroon, they have to buy it from the Mirapfel family, and also there's a lot of waste when it comes to using Cameroon as a wrapper because it's very thin and easily can break if you don't have a great touch.
I got it.
So that's the reason there, because they have to buy that leaf. But on top of that, one thing that people don't talk about very much but I certainly don't have an issue bringing it up. That family practically takes care of the entire village surrounding their factory. They have clinics for the families. You know, their health care is much better than for most manufacturers because they have the clinic right there, and they really take care of their people.
Wow.
And so if I've got to spend a few extra bucks on
I get it.
cigars for that, I'm more than willing to do that.
Well, when you put it that way, I agree with you a million percent.
Yeah, I mean they're just, excuse me for a second.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly. I had to crank up the heat.
What's the weather? You're in Philadelphia, right?
No. I'm more than an hour north of Philly.
And what's the weather like there today?
Bright during the day and dark at night.
You know that's hilarious. You know what I mean? Ask a straight question, get a straight answer. That's what I say.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you did ask.
Yeah.
We've had a few fairly warm days. It's been in the 50s actually for a few days. Today's not going to get quite that high. Right now it's mid 40s.
Okay.
But the thing is I live with two people who are always too warm. So
God.
the thermostat's not under my control.
Well, you gotta gain a bit of beef there.
No,
Russ.
I just use a heater in the room to fill up the space.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't empathize with you because I'm one of those guys that I need it at 60 degrees in my house, or else I'm miserable.
Well, I used to be like that, and I mean, hell, 70 degrees, and I was sweating.
Like, yeah.
But over the last 15 years or so, my core body temperature is a full degree lower than it used to be.
Christ, I wish that would happen to me, man. I swear to God, I'm sweating right now.
My average core body temperature is 97.5.
How do you measure that? Like, what do you put something under the armpit?
No, I've got an electronic thermometer.
What?
Your core temperature is basically what you're getting typically.
Oh, it's
That's
like
your
it's-
average temperature.
So when you have a headache, it's one of those the thermometers, and it'll tell you what your temperature's at. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Ah, okay. I thought it was more scientific than that.
No.
And because I'm hyperactive, you said something about your body has changed. This has changed. Now this was one of my reasons why I wanted to make this have this conversation. Is that a year ago or a couple of years ago, I don't know how long we've been communicating, Russ, but you made a joke to an extent as that first you start off with aromatics, then you go with English, and then you graduate to Virginia. Well, that was my road. Okay. Now I remember asking you, Russ, bloody hell, now I've got all this Balkan blends. I've got all these flowery blends because I'm into Virginias. I don't know what to do with. And you told me, well, make it at nighttime, like smoke a little bit at nighttime. Russ, I can't do it.
Okay.
What's the problem?
It's not a problem. It's just a matter of your tastes changing over time.
bloody hell, I used to be a big bulking smoker, man. A 965 was my go-to, and nightcap, and my, forget it, man. I can't do it anymore. It's too flowery. It's like having a steak with lavender on it, man.
I do get your point. And it has a lot to do too with how critical your palate is too. If you've got a palate where you can pick apart flavors, for example, for something really simple, let's take a cigar like Liga Privada number 9 from Drew Estate. Okay. When I smoke that, I definitely get notes of dark chocolate, not sweet, dark chocolate. Medium roast coffee, oak, a bit of leather, and then just a little bit of white pepper in the background.
What's the gauge of this cigar?
They range. They have a wide variety. You can. They have Coronas right through Robusto, Toro, and then into larger ring gauge cigars too.
So, are you saying that from that blend, smoking different sizes, you still get the same flavor profile, or no?
You get the same flavor profile, but you get different intensity.
Okay.
A Corona is going to smack you in the face as compared to a 54 ring gauge Robusto, because the wrapper makes up a bigger portion of the cigar. The bigger the cigar gets, the less influence the wrapper has. And I don't know about you, but I buy cigars for the flavor of the wrapper. That's
Really?
why I tend to smoke smaller ring gauges.
Really?
Oh yeah, I prefer Coronas and Lonsdales.
No way. You know, it's funny, Russ? And you know what I entitled this this episode? I entitled it "The Wisdom of Years." But you know what? I have years, but I don't have the wisdom, Russ. I don't have the logic. No, I'm telling you, it's so logical what you're saying now. It's like, well, of course, if you have a smaller, like you say, a Lonsdale or a Corona, you get less wrapper. And if you have a bigger gauge like a Churchill, well, you get more wrapper.
No, it's the other way around. In a Corona, percentage-wise, there's more wrapper.
Why, they keep wrapping it around, or what?
No, think about it. You've got so much less filler. You have to look at it. Go back to grammar school. Just remember this part, okay? You remember pi r squared?
No.
To get
the circumference of a what?
Circle.
Right. Okay.
Okay. But so when you make a small change in the diameter, you're getting a huge change in the amount of filler.
Well, yeah, less filler.
Right. And so the wrapper thickness remains the same, right? So you wrap that thicker cigar, percentage-wise, the wrapper is less of a percentage of the overall weight of the cigar in a Robusto than it is in a Corona. So you're
Jesus
gonna
Christ.
taste more. You're gonna taste more of the wrapper in a Corona.
You know what I'm saying, Russ? You just made my Sunday. I mean, but I always feel a bit stupid when I talk to you, so that's
No,
not a
no.
good thing,
Look,
Russ.
look.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to do this for a living. I do.
Yeah, but I always wanted to take over your job.
Hey, let me know.
Are you kidding?
Let me know.
I wouldn't know shit from Shinola.
Okay. Shinola isn't made anymore, but it used to be in a little metal can. And you put it on your shoes.
Jesus.
The other stuff we can make ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm glad this is, for some reason, I don't know why, this is all connected. I've had about a month of thinking about this, and I have to ask Russ this, and I have to ask Russ that. Russ, you're the salt of the earth type of guy. You can dance with anybody, meaning that, and choice of words, Russ. You can
my
mingle.
dancing days are behind me.
You can mingle with the scum of the earth like me, and go up as high as a Davidoff guy, and still come off relatively Russ-like. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's something that I've prided myself on, is being able to speak to people as they speak.
Well, Russ, you're a human being, so you know what I mean. It's like it's normal. I get it. You know what I mean. Now, on one of my reviews I did, and I love doing these reviews because I do it for fun. And I always like to pair stuff with my tobaccos, regardless of what it is: music, paintings, food, dance, whatever. It's in me. That's what I do. I wanna perfectify. I want to perfectify the situation.
Yeah.
But you're there too, Russ. You do that too. But it pisses you off when someone says, when they become an elitist in the cigar talk. Okay, it kind of pisses you off. But you're an elitist just as much as I am, without the arrogance attached to it. Meaning that you know what I'm saying, Russ?
You can have a high-ended attitude, high-ended amount of knowledge.
Okay.
But you
explain
don't.
Attitude. Explain attitude. High-ended attitude. What are you talking about?
You don't have to be. I guess the best word is you don't have to be a snob. Why? Why would you want to be?
It's not in my character.
You're gonna lord it over other people because you can afford this cigar.
Right. It's not in my character. But
no, they can jam that right in their colon.
There you go.
I mean, no. This is one of the things that we talk about in the premium tobacco world, whether we're talking pipes and tobaccos or we're talking about cigars, is they're an affordable luxury.
Well, in the States, maybe.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'll grant you that.
You're damn
because we haven't learned how to tax like a Canuck. But all that said,
yeah.
What it comes down to is, even if it's an affordable occasional luxury, that's what it is. It's affordable in comparative terms. Okay? You like cars? Sure. Okay, you want to drive an Alfa Romeo and spend $95,000, or are you okay with a Ford? Hey, the Ford gets me where I'm going, and so unless I'm competing or whatever, I mean, I'm going to buy the Ford,
I understand.
you know? Um, and I would be elitist if I bought that Alfa Romeo, because
Well,
you
it
know what?
depends.
The Alfa Romeo isn't going to do the job any better.
No, I know, but you're being an elitist, but are you arrogant about it?
Well, that's not being an elitist. That's being able to afford something.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay? To me, being an elitist is when you are so stuck on the high-end products
I
that
get
you
you.
won't try any of the other products anymore.
And I've got something about me, because we're playing psychology today, is that, Russ, I can't do codger blends. I can't. They all have that taste for me. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Don't do it. If you can't do it, don't do it.
And you know what? I know a cheap tobacco from a good tobacco, and as soon as it's a cheap tobacco, it's like, life's too short, man.
And that's one of the knocks on aromatics, because you can take a cheap tobacco, and if you put enough flavoring on it, who the hell is going to know?
Am I wrong by saying, Russ, I would be able to tell the difference between your base tobaccos regardless of aromatics?
You mean,
For example,
determining the quality?
The quality of the tobacco itself.
That takes a pretty refined palate.
I'm happy you say that, Russ. I'm happy you say that. Now, I just want to reinforce that refined palate that I think I have. And my wife says I'm absolutely can't taste shit. But anyways, Bob's Chocolate Flake is a fantastic tobacco, aromatic, obviously. Now, I know you are in the industry, so you can't really say. Is that what you're saying?
I don't consider it an aromatic. It has aromatic qualities added to it, but quite frankly, I think they marry so well and work so well with the tobaccos that are in it that I don't look at Bob's Chocolate Flake as an aromatic.
And I'm going to contradict myself. Neither do I.
Okay.
But that is a quality. Okay, so it's not an aromatic. Okay, but is it the stats like on tobaccoreviews.com, is it labeled as an aromatic?
I honestly don't know. Probably that's what most people term it, but I don't think so.
Okay, let me go further. A Lakeland blend. Now you're smoking your grandmother, basically, is what you're doing. Okay, but that tobacco, that's a quality tobacco that it's based on, man.
Well, yeah. They have to use pretty decent quality tobacco to make those blends, and those flavorings. If you put those Lakeland flavorings on lower grade tobaccos, all you're going to get is perfume. It basically, it would be like taking one of those little rose shaped soaps that grandma used to keep in the bathroom, and you shave it and stuff it in your pipe and light it.
Oh, oh Jesus! And
If you
I
were
mean,
if you were to take, your garden variety, low grade tobacco that's typically used for cigarettes, and you wanted to dump some Lakeland flavoring on it, that's what you'd get. You'd taste all the flavoring, and the tobacco wouldn't be of decent enough quality for the flavor to come through. Don't forget, in most of the blends over there, they use African
yeah,
Virginia.
yeah.
And African Virginia is stronger in flavor and a lot stronger in nicotine.
And less bitey, I find.
Well, yeah, and I think that has to do with the nicotine content.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think part of the reason that typical Virginias sting is twofold: very thin leaves, which tend to burn fast, and fast is hot, and also the sugar content of Virginias will make it burn hotter. And so for that reason, when you go to those African Virginias where the sugar content's slightly lower, but the nicotine content is slightly higher, then I think that's probably the main difference between African Virginias and the rest of the world. But they definitely aren't as sugary sweet as American, but more delicate, more of a tea-like flavor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, now you're an elitist. You're talking like an elitist.
No, I'm talking like a tobacco blender.
See, you see. Okay, so Russ, I choose my moments where I smoke, and I choose the smoke of the moment. Hey, that's so poetic. God, the things you bring out of me. And I know what I want. And some guy called me elitist.
Really?
Jesus, I mean, I studied music. I have a degree in music, so I know if I want to listen to Rachmaninoff or Tool or Led Zeppelin or Bach, I have that knowledge in my head of how to listen to music. Does that make me an elitist?
No, it makes you knowledgeable.
That's all. That's all.
Anybody who calls you an elitist because you know what you like,
Yeah.
that person is an asshole. I'm sorry, and if I'm offending anybody who's listening to this, I don't care.
That's right.
Because there's no room in this pastime for elitism, and there's no room in this for condescending. There's no room for it. You know what it comes down to? It's that really stupid sounding little line, but it's the truth. Smoke what you like what you smoke. That's it. That's it. And if you happen to only like high-end, expensive tobaccos, so what? You're the one that's smoking them. Who cares?
Now, is there a reason, Russ, why I'm in that camp? As soon as I smoke a lower end tobacco, it's first of all, it's one or bidimensional. I don't get much from it, and it's not that. And wait, hold on. When I choose to smoke, I choose to get into the whole ambiance of the smoke. So I'm tasting it, I'm enjoying it. Yes, I'm smoking it, meaning I'm having a great time smoking it, and I can't do that with certain codger blends, man. And I kind of feel, I don't know, I kind of feel shitty about that.
No. Look, understand something. There are times I smoke codger blends. When I smoke those codger blends, I'm smoking them for one reason. I'm not paying attention to what I'm smoking.
So let me ask you then, why smoke, Russ?
It's a nicotine delivery system.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? If I'm driving into work in the morning, I haven't had my coffee yet because I can't have coffee first thing. It'll mess my stomach up for the rest
I'll go right
of the
through
day.
you.
So I get in the car, I light up a pipe, typically with a codger blend, and I smoke that on the way to work to get just that little nick hit to get me up and moving. And then when I get into work, I get my coffee, and by the time I have the Ean twins, caffeine and nicotine, I'm good for the day.
It's funny. I'm being hyperactive. I'm ADD. There's a paradoxical effect happening. When I drink coffee, I can sleep like a baby.
That's actually that's a lot more common than you would think.
And the same thing with tobacco. When I have a high nicotine tobacco, I'm ready to go to bed, man.
Well, nicotine is a very odd duck as chemicals go, because it can give you feelings of elation and energize you. And at the same time, it can calm you down and put you to sleep.
That's what it does for me, man. Calms me
Yep.
down.
I mean, during the day, if I'm working on something and I can smoke while I'm working, that nicotine really helps my productivity.
Really, eh? My.
Yep. And when I can't smoke, I use snus because of the same thing. That little bit of nicotine helps me concentrate and energizes me to a certain degree. Yet, if I have something really strong to smoke after dinner, when I go to my room, I'm like,
yeah.
So it can energize you and it can calm you down, and it's very strange, but nicotine adapts to the circumstances.
That's funny, eh?
Yeah, and I haven't gotten a good explanation for it, but
yeah, no, I got to be careful in the morning when I have my coffee, and I do. I smoke my tobacco. Even Virginia, which is my preferred leaf or blend. Leaf, eh?
Leaf,
Yeah,
unless it's different grades of Virginia mixed together.
Presently, that's where I'm at. I can go for a nap instantly.
Yeah, and Virginia's not that high in nicotine.
Yeah, right. And so why did I contradict myself? Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah,
And it's like when I used to go to parties in the 1980s. You know, here in Canada it snows a lot. You know what I'm saying? And every time snow would.
We had flurries down here back then.
Okay, well, I'm using it as a metaphor.
Yes.
Every time the flurries would go around, I was not the life of the party because I was ADD. I would shoot me down, man. I'd be ready for bed. But
Well,
anyways,
I never partook.
you never
Um,
partook, huh?
no, probably because I'm the kind of person that most of the time I'm very laid back and easygoing, and but if I get overstimulated, I might knock you on your ass.
Oh Christ. Yeah, well, I'm glad. That we're having this conversation. It I don't know. I felt kind of crap when that person, and it's only one person. And my piano teacher told me once. I was playing whatever, learning how to play the piano, and I hit a wrong note, and she says, "Dan, it's one wrong note. Look at all the right notes you hit along the way." So we don't really look at the positive comments. We always look at the negative comments,
Of
and
course.
for me, it's good because it's self-criticism. So whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, that's it, Russ.
Okay.
So are you going to Chicago?
Yes, we will be at Chicago.
Uh, who's we? In terms of people. In terms of people.
Yeah, I'm assuming that that our new email supervisor is going to join me.
What's his
Kane.
name? What's his name? Shane, eh? Looks like
Kane.
a nice guy.
Kane. Yeah,
He looks like a nice guy.
yeah, he's done a couple of a few live streams with me,
Yeah, yeah.
and so we want to expose him to the community, as
Okay.
it were. So I think he'll be there. I don't know if anyone else is going to go, but we plan on doing that, and I'm probably going to do Richmond, mainly because I can drive there. So it's a relatively inexpensive show for us to do.
Richmond, huh?
Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, cripe. Forget it. And do you need another helper? All I would need is plane ticket paid, hotel, and per diem, and a couple of cans.
I'll refer you to my boss.
Yeah, you did that a couple of times. You never got in touch with me.
Gee, I wonder why.
But I don't know, man. Anyways, Russ, thanks a lot, man. Thank you for your time, your knowledge. It's great information for me, and I hope for a lot of people that listen to this, and they seem to enjoy our banter. This one was less technical, more philosophical, I guess. More
Yeah.
existential, And so, look, I'm an elitist now for saying the word existential.
Well, I mean, can you spell it?
Oh, Christ, no. Russ, stick around. Thank you very much, man.
Okay.
Life is good.
Yes.